than they anticipated to do what they said they were to do and respond to our needs.
In writing.
In any way,
Trustee McKay?
I've heard very clearly what the concerns are, and I'm wondering if there are any other trustees that need to weigh in before we call the question. Because I'm not benefiting from hearing a debate, breaking things down. I understand what the concerns are.
Trustee Rosick?
Thank you. I'd just like to clarify, because from not being in committee, the reason it's taking them longer is because we, as a village, someone has asked them to do everything in
I
writing.
understand.
Okay, I just want to clarify that.
Very clear.
We can save money by not having to do that.
Very clear.
Leanne has something.
Just to follow up on that point, part of the discussion or thought process behind the answering questions in writing goes back to the request that information related to a committee or process that is shared with one trustee would be shared with all trustees. That was why initially we requested that their responses be in writing. I do apologize today. I dropped the ball on forwarding the emails that were going through today to all board members. I just hit reply all, so whoever was included in the original question got the answer. I apologize, that will not happen going forward.
Well, just for clarification, I forwarded that chain of emails that had policy information, but trustees have been asking the consultants and the staff questions in long single-spaced emails now, going back a month, well before the public information meeting. They were asked detailed questions, they were challenged on all their statistics, their parking data, a lot of their design conclusions. Even tonight, trustees are still talking about more design options and hybrid looks at how we deal with the environmental, the stormwater management issues, whether we can do more medians, whether we can add more stormwater management, whether we should add more parking. This contract has gone way beyond, and these consultants have been asked to do way more than is standard industry practice for design of a project like this. And that's fine. And if this board wants to enmesh itself in that level of detail in doing the design for this particular street project, you have that right. But you certainly have to also have some consideration for the consultant and the hours that they've taken trying to respond and answer and reevaluate virtually every piece of data that they've assembled. They've got to go back and reevaluate it for more clarifications from village staff. We've had to provide more and more data and background. So it has been a long and very exhaustive process. I don't know what the number is. They're saying, I think it was what, 8,800 is the number they need to be made whole to be able to handle this level of both community and trustee requests for follow-up information and services. So I just had to add that to clarify. That's really where they're coming from on their request.
Do you know how many hours that 8,800 represents? Does it say?
I'm going to be calling the question here because, but Trustee Maher, see if you can find something there.
yeah, we've got an attachment.
76 hours.
Is that what it represents, 76 hours,
Yeah.
additional hours?
Yes.
Okay. Call the question. We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor of the motion as stated, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Yeah.
As expected.
Second item from Public Works, thank you, is we have a proposal from R.A. Smith National for construction inspection services. Leanne, perhaps you could do a better job introducing this than I, and then I'll go ahead and make a motion.
Sure. We're in transition, if you will. This project, as you know, to this point had been handled by our planning inspection department. It has been handed to both Public Works and Finance. Mark's handling the paperwork end, Joel and I are handling the construction and implementation end. And that really just started last week. Toward the middle of last week, I got a telephone call contact from the representative from Wauwatosa saying that he and the West Dallas rep had been talking, and they were looking at a joint inspection contract, similar to how the other contracts and the project has been handled thus far, and said that they were going to be going with R.A. Smith, and were we interested? And, you know, at that point, I said, sure, let me see what I can get together. So this is the proposal that we have from R.A. Smith. It would be the same individual doing inspection at all three sites. The construction is sequential. So they start in West Dallas, they move to Tosa, they finish up in Shorewood. There's certainly some benefits to utilizing R.A. Smith because of their knowledge of the process and project thus far. Definitely a huge benefit to Shorewood to not be the first but be the last in that chain and have that inspector involved many weeks prior to the construction here. And so that is the contract that you have before you. I do not have competing or alternate, if you will, proposals from other engineering firms.
R.A. Smith is doing, you said, the other communities.
Yes.
Okay. I move approval of professional service agreement with R.A. Smith for construction inspection services related to the 2017 bike share program on a time and materials basis with an estimated cost of $8,000.
Discussion?
Well, do you want to say not to exceed that amount, or you said estimated, is that what the proposal is?
It is not, the proposal is a time and materials, yes.
Trustee Rosie?
So in committee, there is a chart of accounts that you have paid $140,000 out to develop their bike, and so I just was confused and wanted to make sure that we weren't going over our $97,000 match that we had agreed to in May of this year. And just to share the knowledge, to report on committee discussion, Erica confirmed that it's a reimbursement. So those where we purchased the equipment and then we will get reimbursed through the TARP grant, whatever grant it is, and that we have not gone over that $97,000. So with these design services, if it is hourly, can we put a clause, excuse me. So going on your statement, if I would like to not exceed the amount that we budgeted, is there a way to do that since it's hourly, just not to exceed the total budget of 97, whatever it was?
Well, you can do that, but that will get you the services that you need, I don't know.
You can bring
It
that.
will work. I mean, what are we gonna do? We've got 7 in and 1 to go, and we're a couple hours over. Are we gonna send everybody home and come back
No, we're
to the
not.
next board meeting? I mean, that's why these things are done on an hourly rate. They're gonna charge us hourly only the hours they work. We're gonna supervise it. The maximum amount they're estimating is what's in the contract to give you a guideline, so you have a flavor for what you're committing to. We've gotta get it built, and we'll be monitoring them, make sure they're not spending extra hours, but it will be around that amount. But it might be a few dollars over, hopefully it'll be a few dollars under.
As long as we know that as of today, we're not, we
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
exceeded our
yeah.
budget, so then we can
If you
gauge
put a
it.
not to exceed on this kind of contract, you're gonna get us in trouble, and we're gonna be back, sitting here with things hung up.
I made that comment without not having a copy, I didn't realize that it was
Yeah.
all of
I just wanted to make sure that we
It
understood,
wasn't on me.
as of
Yeah.
today, we're in budget, and we'll see what happens next time we talk about it. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Seeing none, we have a motion and second. All in favor of the motion stated, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. Okay, that takes us to reports from village officials. I actually have 4, there's 2 listed here.
Yeah, so
I'm sorry. Oh, did I miss
Well, I
something?
think you've got 10A. The one that you
That's part of his, that's part
yeah,
of,
you've got the manager's employment agreement.
yeah, that's part of his report.
That's part of my report.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Vote on the RA Smith
everybody copacetic here?
Okay, so our apologies, Mr. President.
Okay, before I get into the manager employment agreement and the extension of the interim manager contract, I've got two others. Just want to report that I'm appointing Renee Gratz as the Shorewood representative to the North Shore Fire Commission. Tim Cotter has been in that position for a number of years, and I'm going to be, and he's moved out of the village now. So, and he was both on the Fire Commission and the North Shore Fire Commission. He was also on the Police Commission too. But I'm going to be appointing Renee Gratz to fill the term that he's got left on. I'm not sure how long it is, but it's the amount of time that's left. Then also, I'm going to talk about my own candidacy for next spring election. I've had the honor to serve our village board for a long period of time. In fact, I'm in my 20th year as a trustee and my 12th year as president. And I'm now letting you know that I will be filing my notification of non-candidacy for the spring 2018 election. I think this is kind of an assumed thing by most people's part, but I'm officially letting you know that now. Working with the village staff, fellow board members, residents, especially with the many volunteers who give so selflessly to the community, has been both an exhilarating and humbling experience for me. And I deeply thank all who have allowed me to serve, and Shorewood is a gem. So with that, I'll move on to the next item, which is consider manager employment agreement. Maybe I'll turn this over to Lee. Can you lead us on this item? Sure.
Sitting out there all night, we got to
Get
get you some exercise.
Oh, that's all right. It brings back memories, so. How about your shaking?
I saw you waiting,
I'm consulting.
Is he gonna come back and
Quivering.
for this meeting?
Ask Tyler, what I just told him, but great to be back again. It's been 3 weeks since the board met, for 2 days in a row. Gave me direction on who you would like to appoint for the next village manager. And since then, I have been working with your candidate, both by email, text, actually phone conversations, and then of course been working with President Johnson and Charlie Burkhart to pull this all together. So what you see in your packet tonight reflects the employment agreement that Rebecca has agreed to. And so, in fact, she is awaiting by text tonight for the word back from all of you that the employment agreement is approved. I think it reflects, all the conditions that you had outlined for me, what your expectations were, particularly financial expectations. We talked about some of the other one-time expenses. There's only one item in there that came up during the course of our conversation that probably could not have been anticipated by the parties, and that was just an extension of health insurance for that period of time. And so Rebecca is ready to come on board November 6th. She's got a 60-day notice with her current employer, of which she would provide that notice tomorrow. She also tells me that as of tomorrow, her and her husband are going to be putting their house up for sale down there because they're anxious to become a part of the Shorewood community. Whether they have luck actual finding a home here during late summer, early fall, it might actually mean 2 moves for them. But I tell you that because she's anxious to get started, and during the period of time before she starts, she hopes to have some conversations with department heads, getting to know people ahead of time or so. You have the agreement that was been part of your packet, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you have.
Trustee Rosie.
For performance valuations, I'm not familiar with that, so it's to occur annually, well, after the first 6 months and then annually, and then is that the time that we would determine whether the salary increase, right, as a board, we vote, or I don't know how that works?
Yes, depending on the outcome of the performance evaluation, at that point, typically, any increase in salary would come connected with the evaluation.
And that's annual?
Yes.
Question on section 10 on annual vacation leave. Talks about getting credit for the balance of 2017, 4 days. It says, well, it's spelling managers misspelled there, but shall be credited with 4 weeks of vacation as of January 1st, 2018. Is the vacation accrue throughout the year, or is this an additional 4 weeks?